Hello everybody, it's me Chris at Pro for our Friday chat as usual. Now this week we have a new glove in, or new model glove in our lot. So this is the Club 0. Now as I keep banging on, this model of the Club range, once it's gone, it's gone. There's a few 10s, 12s and an odd couple of 14s left. When they're gone at that £50 price mark. So to get an Italian leather multi-layer glove for £50, as you might have guessed, is impossible. Along with those finishing off and our Pro sparring Velcro, we've decided there's no need for a mid-range glove anymore, because you're either going to buy the Club glove or the hybrid. So they're reduced down to 75. Again, get them while you can if you like them, because we've got a few colours left in 10s, 12s and 14s as well. Again, it's mostly 10s, then 12s and then a couple of 14s. So different colours if that's what you want. Now the idea is, we know these sell well because of the price. Now nobody else does that quality of a leather glove for that kind of money, so just for those people who are beginning and haven't got the kind of money what we're going to have to put the new Club 2.0 up to, we've done this, the Club 0. Now obviously the Club 0 is made of a microfiber. It's not a leather, it's a synthetic. I'm not a lover of synthetics, but we need to bring people into the sport, so it's a soft synthetic, so these ribs that you get aren't sharp like a lot of them are. Now we've done stuff like this before, and then we have it and we don't, and then we have it and we don't, because like I say, I prefer top end stuff. Now in the past we've done one that's called a pin dot, which you can see little dots in the PU. We've sold them in as Greenhill did them. Probably the best known version of them is Rival do the RB7 bag gloves in them at £55. We did them for a while. They're all, you know, I think we did them for about 40 quid. They were a nice glove in multiple colours, but when I took one apart to see how they were made, the pin dot material isn't like a leather or a synthetic. It's like a plastic covering that goes over the foam. So that put me off. So they were ended. We never got any of ours back damaged as such, but we did get some of the Greenhill ones back, and that's how I found out that it was like a plastic film over the foam. It wasn't a proper covering as such. So we've brought this one out. Now these are going to be under the £50. I think we've got them on the website already at 45. They're all going to come in this lovely matte black. They come in 12 ounce, 14 ounce and 16 ounce. So anybody looking for the budget end or can't afford and they want to get into our models, they're made exactly the same as these. They've got the same multi-layer foam, they have the same pattern, they have the same air holes, the same thumb, the same finger grips. Totally, as you can see, they're identical in every way, apart from being made from the microfiber PU typey stuff and not Italian leather. So there you have it. Now we did them we did the matte black because it's always been our most popular colour for some reason, the black. So that's, you know, it is what it is. And there you go, there's the 14s, there's the 16s and here's the 12s. Now I'll put it on and just to say it's exactly the same as our other ones. As soon as you put it on, you've got the finger grip bar at the end there where you can curl a nice fist. Your knuckles are in the correct place. Your thumb's nice and comfortable. And the Velcro strap is nice and secure. There's no droopiness anywhere. It's just exactly the same glove, but plain. Do you know what I mean? So, if you love them, you can't afford the new ones you're thinking, and you want a pair of beginner's gloves, they're the ones for you. Now similarly, as usual, I'll always show you something similar. Here we've got the Sting glove. Now the thing a lot of these companies do to make them cheap, they do this bit here. which you can see is a cloth, a breathable cloth. Now the reason we don't do this is the alkaline in your sweat rots this very quickly, and this ends up breaking away. Now if I put this one on, again you'll see the difference in the thickness. This is the Sting, what is it called? Armalite. It's an M16. If you've ever been in the army, you'll know what that means. Very tight. It's liquid moulded foam. That's the starter, so you know it ain't going to last as long as these. It's quite soft for a liquid moulded foam. The glove is small. There's very little. There's no fingertip thing in it. No breather holes because you have that mesh. And it is a very tight fitting glove compared to the size we have. Now they retail at £65. So it's £20 a pair, dearer than these. Similar material, and I'll go through a few others that do a similar glove. i.e., again, the cheaper end, this is Everlast, or Neverlast, the Everlast Elite glove. Again, the whole palm is made of this material, so it ain't, longevity isn't a major thing with that. There we go, put the glove on. The lining's very cheap. So's the glove, to be honest. I think these are about £35. The padding, not much of it. It's got a similar microfiber this side, and then the rest of it, the strap on it, is just a cheap PU. And so I'd imagine that stitching will just break away eventually. It's a toss of what's going to go first, the inside or that stitching. I think these are about, I think they're marked up at about 50, but you probably get them at a discount in Sports Direct. Down to 35ish or something, but I've done these before. They are cheap rubbish. Now, a lot of other companies do a similar glove, and like I say, you've got Rival, they do the RB7, they do a few. A lot of Rivals is microfiber, as we know. Even the top of the range stuff is generally microfiber. They do the RB7s, the RS Future for the youths and kids. They're around £55 a pair. What else did he do? They do an RB4, which is a bag glove. It's a bit harder than these. They're around £40, so around the same price. Now I've not got anything to show you. I don't know what they look like, but I've had them in the past. Quite similar. And then you have Bravo's Alpha Black. They look very much like these, but as I've shown you with Bravos before, the fitting in the hands, the thumb's in the wrong place. They're a very cheaply made glove. They're not great. The guy who owns the company, nice fella, but he must be going bankrupt soon because he gives more away than he actually sells because nobody will buy it. And I can see why. If you're an experienced person in the gym, a coach or a trainer, you're not going to buy stuff that doesn't fit correctly or that doesn't last long, are you? Now, there's a local gym here, one of the local gyms. They bought a load of gloves similar to this off him. They didn't want to buy them, and I don't think he wanted to take them home, I believe. So they paid about £25 a pair for them, and they lasted about 2 months and they just fell to bits. That's what the coaches told me anyway. After that you've got Venom. They do Challengers and something, a Contender. They're very similar to these as well, but again they have the mesh, and some of them have the mesh inside. The Venom ones, they're around £50–55 a pair, so again they're a little bit dearer. Then we have, obviously we know about the Greenhill that we've had in the past. They're just a little bit dearer on their website. They're like £52–55. Now, we had a bulk heat load because Greenhill have been struggling apparently, and we sold them all for £20 a pair just to get rid. And I think that's where I got that one that fell apart come back, obviously. So there is that one. Now Phenom, They do something very similar to this. It's called FG105. Comes in all the same sizes. Comes in, I've seen it in blue and black and red and black and maybe a few more. But they're £70 a pair. So again, that's expensive. For me, I would never dream of spending or asking above £50 for something that isn't leather. Then obviously you'd have my favourite fly. For £190 you can have their version of that with their version of padding, which is non-existent. So after that you've got all these other little companies on Amazon and stuff, Chinese companies that make this kind of thing. Some down as cheap as £29.99 a pair, but believe me, you're going to get what you pay. You're probably similar to this, where you can't get your hand in it comfortably, especially not wrapped up. If you're an adult, if you're a kid, yeah, great. And like I keep saying, these are just exactly the same as these, but synthetic. So there's no difference. The colours are different, obviously, and obviously because of the colours, we've not got the lovely little thumb thing on there. They're just a plain thumb. But like I keep saying, the ones on Amazon you're going to get cheaper. No major brand name, maybe made in China, some made in Pakistan. They're going to be cheap end for a reason, because they use the cheapest materials. They're using just any old pattern, so they're just a copy of a copy of a copy, basically. So like I say, you get what you pay for. Now, if you, like I say, if you get these, you know what you're getting. If you've seen these before, or you've seen reviews on these, you'll know what a outstanding glove for 50 quid they've been for the last 7 years. Unfortunately, I've just been doing them at 50 quid to stick it to everybody else, to show people up. They are going to go up, but we've improved them to justify the up in price. We've not made anything on them for 7 years, so it's time for us to make a wage now. As you hear every week, we have Molly grunting away in the background, mooching about. I've got a feed there, and no doubt we'll eventually get vet bills because she's a French bulldog. So that's the reason these are going up. Basically, we have to stay open and look after our customers. So we can't do that by not making a profit, basically. But you'll get, once you see the new 2.0s, you'll see why you see the worth a little bit extra we're putting on. They're not going to be fly or sting money for a top leather glove. We'll still keep them reasonably priced. But if you can't afford it, this is the one for you. I mean, even if you want to use them at sparring, we do a 16. So, and they are identical in the way they're made, the same pattern, the same foams, just synthetic leather. Which, like I say, not my favourite, but we've got to look after everybody. So in future we're going to have the Club 0, the Club 2.0 when it comes, and beautiful #1 glove, the hybrid, if that's what you want for training. So there you go. I've given you a good list of all the other competitors who do something like this. None of them realistically are coming near the price. We're keeping the price low for you. Like I say, 65 quid for a cheaply made glove, 45. So there you have it. That's this week's thing. I've compared roughly. I can't compare them to this cheap rubbish, to be honest. And these, we've had these in the shop for a long time, and people try them on and they go, ugh. So not just my opinion. So look out for our Club 0, the 2.0. If you want to bargain before they go, get the club glove, or this one, the Pro Sparring Velcro. There you have it. Like, subscribe, comment. The more comments we get, obviously it does us a bit better for the algorithms. So talk to me, ask me questions about this glove if I've missed anything out. We do have a nice little stock of them just come in before the season starts here. I'm not going to comment on the stupid, what do you call it, Misfits show of the weekend. Somebody's actually told me it was pay-per-view. How mad would you have to be to watch Joey Essex making a balls of our beautiful sport? So there you have it. and I'll see you next week. Good luck.